Have you ever stopped to wonder why certain numbers seem to follow you everywhere? Maybe it's waking up at exactly 3:33 a.m. for several nights in a row, or every time you glance at your phone, the clock reads 11:11. You might brush it off as coincidence, but what if these numbers are far more intentional than they seem? What if they're not just quirky patterns, but a language, a bridge, meant to connect you to something much greater than yourself? Let's dive into the mystery, unraveling a secret that just might change the way you view your entire life. Numbers are one of the oldest and most universal languages in human history. They transcend borders, beliefs, and even time itself. Think about it. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and the Mayans used numbers not just for counting, but as tools to map the stars and decode the workings of the universe. Pythagoras, the great mathematician, once said, "Numbers rule the universe." He believed that numbers weren't just mathematical symbols, but vibrations, energies that could unlock the secrets of reality. Now, let's pause here and ask ourselves, if numbers can reveal the laws of nature, why couldn't they also be used to communicate? Imagine for a moment that your parallel self, a version of you living in another dimension, wants to send you a message. How would they do it? Through words? Too ambiguous? Through images? Too open to interpretation? Numbers, however, are precise, repeatable, and universal. Here's where it gets interesting. Start paying attention to those repeating patterns you see in your daily life. Let's take the classic example of 11:11. When this number appears, it's often said to symbolize alignment, a moment when your thoughts, actions, and the energy of the universe are in perfect harmony. So, here's something practical you can do. The next time you catch 11:11, stop and reflect. Ask yourself, what was I thinking just now? What decisions am I weighing? Is there something I need clarity on? Write these thoughts down in a journal. Over time, you may start to notice a pattern, a nudge from the universe, or perhaps your parallel self, guiding you towards something greater. Even skeptics can't deny the power of patterns. In fact, many modern scientists are exploring the concept of numerical synchronicity. This is the idea that certain numbers appear in our lives when our conscious and subconscious minds are trying to align with a deeper truth. You don't need to be a mathematician or a mystic to start decoding these patterns. All it takes is curiosity, awareness, and the willingness to experiment. But here's the real question. Why are these numbers appearing now, at this moment in your life? Could it be that you're standing at a crossroads, a place where your decisions will ripple across dimensions? Hold that thought, because what we're about to uncover next will deepen this mystery in ways you never imagined. If numbers truly carry a hidden message from your parallel self, then the next logical step is to understand their meaning. But let me ask you this. Do you think these numbers are random? Or could they be tailored, encoded specifically for you? Let's explore how to crack this numerical code and unravel its purpose in your life. Numerologists believe that every number vibrates at its own unique frequency, and that frequency holds meaning. For example, the number 1 often represents new beginnings, leadership, and independence, while the number 7 is connected to spiritual awakening and inner wisdom. But what if the numbers you see aren't just about their universal meanings? What if they're personalized, designed to highlight the exact areas of your life where your alternate self is trying to guide you? Here's something practical you can try right now. Start a number journal. Each time a specific number or pattern appears in your day, write it down. Don't just record the number. Note the context. Where were you? What were you thinking? Were you hesitating about a decision or considering a change in your life? Over a few weeks, patterns may emerge that reveal what these numbers are trying to tell you. For instance, if the number 5 keeps showing up when you're thinking about work, it could signify change and transformation in your career. Let's take this a step further. What if your parallel self, living a version of your life in another dimension, has already achieved the goals you're striving for? Maybe they've unlocked a level of wisdom or clarity that feels just out of reach to you. Numbers could be their way of sending hints, almost like breadcrumbs on your path. Imagine this. Every time you see 333, it's a signal from your parallel self reminding you to trust in your creative potential. Or when 888 pops up, it might be a nudge to focus on abundance and financial opportunities. Think of it like this. When you're lost in an unfamiliar city, your GPS doesn't give you the entire route in one go. Instead, it guides you turn by turn. These numbers could work the same way, acting as a kind of cosmic GPS, gently nudging you in the direction you're meant to go. And here's the fascinating part. The meaning of these numbers might not become clear immediately. That's okay. What matters is that you remain open and curious, allowing the patterns to reveal themselves over time. But how do we know these numbers are truly from your parallel self, and not just a trick of the mind? What if there's a deeper mechanism, a bridge, connecting your world to theirs? That's the question we'll tackle next, as we uncover how science and spirituality collide to create this mysterious link. Let's dive deeper into the bridge that connects you to your parallel self. If the numbers you're seeing are indeed a form of communication, then what's the mechanism that allows this connection? Is it spiritual, scientific, or a mix of both? To uncover this, we must explore how modern theories in quantum physics and ancient spiritual practices converge in fascinating ways. Consider this: quantum entanglement, a phenomenon Albert Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. In simple terms, it suggests that two particles, even when separated by vast distances, can instantly influence each other. What if, in a similar way, your parallel self and your current self are entangled, connected through a metaphysical thread? When you see repeating numbers like 1111 or 444, it could be a ripple in this quantum connection, a subtle nudge from another dimension sent through the fabric of time and space. Now, let's bring this concept to life with a practical example. Imagine you're wrestling with a tough decision, whether to leave your current job or stay. Suddenly, you see 555 repeatedly, a number often associated with change and transformation. From a spiritual perspective, this could be your parallel self encouraging you to embrace the unknown because, in their version of reality, they've already taken that leap and thrived. From a scientific angle, it's as if their decision created an energetic wave that's reaching you now, guiding you to align with their path. But how do we tune into this connection more effectively? Ancient spiritual practices, like meditation and visualization, might hold the key. Start by setting aside 10 minutes each day for focused meditation. Picture yourself sitting across from your parallel self. What do they look like? How do they act? Visualize them passing you a message, perhaps in the form of a number. This exercise not only strengthens your intuition, but also sharpens your awareness of the subtle signals in your life. Here's a practical tip. Combine this visualization with journaling. After your meditation, write down any numbers or impressions you receive. Don't overthink it. Over time, you may notice synchronicities between these meditative insights and the patterns in your daily life. For example, let's say you visualize the number 888 during meditation, and later that week, you're presented with an unexpected financial opportunity. That's not a coincidence. It's your parallel self paving the way. This brings us to an even more intriguing possibility. What if these numbers aren't just guiding you, but asking something from you? Could your actions here, in this dimension, also impact your parallel self's reality? To explore this mutual exchange, we must delve into the idea of shared timelines and how your choices ripple across dimensions. But let's not rush. We'll unlock that secret in the next step. Now that we've explored how numbers could be a bridge between you and your parallel self, it's time to unravel the idea of shared timelines. What if your choices here and now don't just influence your life, but also ripple into the reality of your parallel self? Let's dig into the mechanics of this mysterious connection and how it could be a two-way street. Think of your life as a river. It flows continuously, carving its path through time and experience. Now imagine parallel lives as other rivers running alongside yours. While each has its own direction, there are moments when the currents intersect, creating whirlpools of shared energy. Moments where decisions, emotions, and intentions sync up across dimensions. This is where the numbers come into play. They might not just be guiding you, they could also be your parallel self's cry for help, support, or even collaboration. Here's a practical way to test this idea. Next time you notice repeating numbers, pause and ask yourself, what major choice or action is pressing on my mind right now? Write it down. Then ask a daring question. What if this decision isn't just about me? What if it's affecting my parallel self as well? For example, imagine you're seeing the number 222, often linked to balance and alignment. You're debating whether to forgive someone who hurt you. By choosing forgiveness, you might not only bring peace into your own life, but also free your parallel self from a similar burden in their reality. Let's dive deeper with a compelling analogy. Think of a musician tuning their instrument. If your choices are like strings being tightened or loosened, the harmony you create in your life might resonate across dimensions, tuning your parallel self's reality as well. So every time you act with intention, choosing love over fear, courage over doubt, you're striking a chord that vibrates through the infinite multiverse. But how can you make these choices more impactful? This is where intention setting becomes crucial. Start each day by holding a clear vision of who you want to become, not just for yourself, but for the countless versions of you existing elsewhere. Write affirmations that focus on shared growth. I choose abundance, love, and alignment for all versions of myself. Speak these affirmations aloud while visualizing your parallel self mirroring your intentions. Now, let's explore an eerie possibility. Could numbers be requests from your parallel self to alter their timeline? Imagine this. You're consistently seeing 999, a number linked to endings and transitions. Instead of focusing solely on your own life, consider that your parallel self might be facing a major ending they're struggling to embrace. What if you consciously choose to release something in your life, like a toxic relationship or a limiting belief, as a way of sending them strength and clarity? This mutual exchange, where both realities influence each other, hints at a far greater mystery. Could our entire multiverse be connected by a collective consciousness, where every version of us contributes to the evolution of the whole? To uncover this profound question, we'll need to explore the idea of universal synchronicity and how it weaves our lives together across dimensions. But that's a revelation we'll uncover in the final part. Let's bring everything together and dive into the profound, mind-bending idea of universal synchronicity. If numbers are the codes, and your choice is the instrument, then synchronicity is the symphony tying it all together. What if your repeated encounters with these numbers aren't random, but part of a grand design? Not just for you, not just for your parallel self, but for the infinite multiverse itself. A colossal network of energy, thoughts, and choices, all synchronized in ways we're only beginning to understand. Have you ever thought about why you meet certain people? Why events align in ways that seem too perfect to be coincidence? This could be the multiverse at work. Imagine parallel versions of you, each walking their own paths, yet somehow all of you are tethered to a larger, unified purpose. Angel numbers 111, 333, 777 might not just be messages but cosmic checkpoints, ensuring that every version of you, across dimensions, is marching toward that shared destiny. Here's something practical to ponder. The next time you encounter synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence that feels like the universe winking at you, don't just shrug it off. Document it. Create a journal dedicated to these experiences, Not just the numbers you see, but the feelings and circumstances surrounding them. This practice could unveil patterns over time, offering you clues about what your parallel self might be trying to convey. Consider this fascinating possibility. Synchronicities could be the multiverse's way of testing us, aligning our personal growth with the growth of countless parallel selves. Picture it like this. You see 444 repeatedly, a number often tied to protection and guidance. At the same time, you're faced with a major challenge, perhaps a career move or a chance to mend a fractured relationship. What if, by making the brave choice here, you're not just shaping your own life, but fortifying the paths of your parallel selves as well? Now, let's stretch the boundaries even further. Quantum physics suggests that particles can be entangled across vast distances. What one particle does influences the other instantly, no matter how far apart they are. Could this principle apply to your life and the lives of your parallel selves? When you see synchronicity, it might be evidence of this cosmic entanglement, a ripple effect that starts with you and reverberates across dimensions, pulling everything closer to harmony. To fully embrace this idea, here's a simple yet powerful practice: meditation. Close your eyes and visualize all the versions of yourself scattered across infinite realities. Imagine each one radiating energy, connected by luminous threads. Now, focus on aligning your energy, your thoughts, your intentions, with love, clarity, and purpose. This isn't just self-care, it's multiverse care, a way to strengthen the bonds between every version of you. And now, let's end on the most intriguing question of all. What if these synchronicities, these numbers, aren't just messages or markers but actual portals? Could they be gateways, small cracks in the multiverse, offering you a glimpse into another reality? If you've ever felt a déjà vu so intense it gave you chills, or had a dream that felt like more than just a dream, you may have brushed against these portals without even realizing it. The more we explore, the more questions we uncover. Are we the creators of our reality, or merely players in a script written across infinite timelines? And most importantly, if your parallel self is trying to send you a code, what will you do with it? Will you listen, act, and align, or will you let the message fade into the background? That's a mystery only you can solve.